Well, one year to Tushin on Shore, Jews on Lot, McKeon Ving, Scale Gilgach, the Manx Gaelic Broadcasting Committee, very important, obviously, in terms of what it does for broadcasting in Manx Gaelic. Obviously, we're both members of the committee, and I thought it would be really useful to find out a bit more. You've been a member longer than I have. So what is the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee? What does it do?
Well, I think one of the revival of interest in Manx and, what's happened the last 20 years is a really good success story, I think, for the island. One of the small players in that has been the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee. We get a small grant between £10,000 and £15,000 per year, which we use for to try and increase the profile of the language sort of within the media, and also support learners and speakers of the language within those mediums. So, for example, it supports Mora Jiduni on Manx Radio. It supports a lot of advertising we do on the radio. It's financially supported a lot of the online stuff, and we've been doing a lot of video material over the last year or so in particular, which is available on ManxTube and YouTube. Stuff to let people know what's going on regards to language initially, but also material which is helpful for learners and speakers. We had a fantastic week, Manx Language Week, the Coosh last year, so we filmed the lecture there, and we did sort of support material as well out of the Coosh, again, which is available on ManxTube and YouTube. So it does those, and also funded cartoons, and hopefully sometime over the next 12 months we'll see a really important development, I think, within what's available for learners and speakers, a cartoon series. And so fingers crossed that'll finally come to fruition. And again, that's another small project which has been supported by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee. So
it's quite a significant range of things that the Broadcasting Committee is involved with. Now, obviously, the Broadcasting Committee actually came out of an amendment to one of the Broadcasting Act several years ago now. I think the amendment required the committee to be there to give advice and support. I don't think there's any particular statutory requirement for broadcasters to broadcast in Manx, but I think in terms of licensing, there's there is encouragement for broadcasters to do this. What general response do you get from the radio stations and indeed the television broadcasters? Yeah, well, Peter Caron, I think, was responsible for that amendment. Generally, it's supportive. Obviously, our big support comes from Manx Radio. It's been fantastic over the years, just in a wide range of ways have supported the language, and we've done quite a bit of work with Energy in the past as well. I mean, and we supported adverts, particularly on Energy and 3FM. We'd like to try and do more, but obviously we're limited by our finances and also manpower in many respects. But I think the great big development, which has come out of lobbying, not just by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee and myself at the Manx Heritage Foundation, but others, is support from the BBC for 2 new programmes on Manx Radio, and they're entirely supported by the BBC Finance, which is brilliant, and they're on Manx Radio between 5 and 6 p.m. on medium wave, and then available for download on my Learn Manx website later. And therefore, learners and speakers of the language, supported entirely by the BBC, and hopefully come out of the, I suppose, lobbying, for want of a better word, that is the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee, the Manx Heritage Foundation, people like me and indeed yourself have done over the last few years. So there's a growing amount of stuff, really, and hopefully that'll continue to improve and increase over the next few years. And as far as the membership of the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee, obviously yourself and me, we're members. Who else is a member of the committee? Yeah, well, you have to go through a selection procedure and be appointed to the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee, and that involves Cathy Clucas, Brian Stoll from Cheshire Gilgach, Brisha Madrill from the Manx Heritage Foundation, Bob Carswell, who's obviously a well-known broadcaster, and Steve Jackson as well, who brings another insight into the use of the language on radio, etc. So we're all officially appointed, and we're responsible for trying to use that money, small pot of money, appropriately, which I think we do, and it has helped to, I say, mainly increase the profile of language, support learners, and provide material for speakers of Manx. And overall, the budget's around about £10,000 to £15,000, which in broadcasting terms is a relatively small amount of money. But obviously the committee members do a lot of volunteer work, and certainly for the relatively small pot of money we've got, we do have quite a dramatic influence.
Yeah, I think so, and hopefully over the next few years to come we'll continue to use that money wisely and appropriately and serve not just the Manx Gaelic speaking community but the Isle of Man as well.
Excellent. Well, Guramaid, when you to Shen Fianes.
Guramaid is Shea the Bay, when you.